In an article in Time magazine in 2021, Belinda Lascombe reported that a University of Missouri study found that for highly partisan families, getting together for any reason was more likely to drive them apart than to bring them together. Further, a post-election Pew Research Center survey found that fewer than 2% of voters felt those who voted for the other party understood them very well. Only 13% of Joe Biden's voters and 5% of Donald Trump's voters expressed any desire for future unity. 3 years later, I'm guessing this is even more the case. And here comes Thanksgiving dinner with the family. How to avoid a political family feud this holiday season today on Mastering Mortality's News You Can Use. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to Mastering Mortality's News You Can Use, where we work hard to help you make the most of each moment. I'm Tom Boomershine, a chaplain with Wesley Life Hospice in Des Moines, Iowa. And one of the most important things, if not the number one most important thing for my patients when they're dying, are their relationships. I've watched people wait to die for days, hoping that an estranged son, daughter, brother, or sister will come to say goodbye. I've heard people yearning to ask for or to give forgiveness to someone that they love. We only get one mom and one dad in this life. Our family knows us in ways that nobody else does. And when we have a hard time connecting with our family, even when it's in our best interest not to connect with them, it hurts and leaves a hole that aches to be filled. So how do you connect with a loved one you passionately disagree with? I remember conversations with Jeff. I'm a latte drinking, Prius driving liberal, and Jeff is a homeschooling, non-alcohol drinking conservative. And for almost 7 years, we would lock each other in a car for 2 hours one way and then turn around and do the same thing the other way once a month. And more often than not, our conversations in that car were about the highly politically charged social issues of the day. I don't know that either of us ever changed each other's minds, but I do know that they led to a deeper understanding of where the other was coming from, and I would consider Jeff a good friend to this day. Now, we'll never be hanging out watching football games, drinking beer together on Sunday afternoons because Jeff doesn't drink, and I mostly don't either anymore, and he lives 2.5 hours away now, but the point is that the conversations brought us together instead of driving us apart. And you might ask, Tom, how can this be? Well, first, instead of trying to win an argument or somehow prove the other wrong, we were curious about what and how the other one was thinking. We'd ask questions like, what do you think about? Help me understand your thinking on. And when we were wanting to share our own thinking, we'd say something like, I hear where you're coming from. Now, when I think about that, these are the other factors or issues that come to my mind. How does that affect what you think? How about, and what about in sharing our own perspectives and then being curious about how that affects the other's perspective? We might not have changed our minds, but we did have a better understanding and developed a deeply respectful friendship because of it. Now, I know family relationships are more complicated and there's other emotional dynamics that come to play, so it might be a wildly different relationship dance that you would be choosing and inviting your family to join you in. But for some of our relationships, in the end, it's worth it. If you want to hear a great example of somebody modeling this, listen to the minimalist podcast titled Unoptimized Things. TK does a fantastic job talking about how he invites people to deeper connecting conversation when they're telling him he's wrong. It's about 13 minutes into the episode. It's so good. Matter of fact, there is so much meat on the bone of this episode, they've inspired me to do more episodes of News You Can Use based off of it. Thank you so much for watching. I am profoundly grateful to share this time with you as it fulfills my purpose. If you like what you're seeing, click subscribe and give it a thumbs up. It'll help my channel grow and you'll be notified when I post the next video. If you go to my website, tomboomersign.com, you'll find other videos, links to the Minimalists podcast, the Time article I've referenced, and other tips and tricks, and even some recipes. I'm also always grateful for anyone who wants to buy me coffee, as I'm a deeply committed addict to the bean of caffeine. All of these links you'll find in the description of the video below. I'm Tom Boomersign of Mastering Mortality, where we work hard to help you make the most of each moment. Until I see you again, peace.